Welcome to the Will Township October Board Meeting, October the 1st, 2013. The day of Obamacare and government shutdown.
That means we don't get paid today?
Then we don't get, whoa, no, you better cash them. Better cash them quick. Get to the ATM as soon as you can. We'll have the minutes prepared by the clerk. Actually, they're prepared by Helen Heisner and given to the clerk, who is jaunting around Europe and Asia.
Korea,
Nice shirt,
Vietnam,
Korea.
we don't know where.
Maybe a little
Picture was in the paper again, too.
the Japanese.
That's what. Did you get a Japanese paper?
Anyway, we hope to get a little something from Glenn on that when he had come around to the clerk, so he can tell us where he went, his escapades. Has everybody had a chance to view the minutes, please? Motion to approve, Paul, a second.
Brian, just do one correction, man.
Correction?
Yeah, on the deposit for that loader, it was 2,500 instead of 500.
Thanks for catching that, Bruce. Yeah, that was 25.
I thought that was one.
So noted. Corrections made. We'll have a motion with the correction amended, or with the minutes amended with the correction. All in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Did you get a second to it?
You first and Warren was second.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Right?
That's right.
Sounds good with me.
Oh, I thought you did.
That's what he wrote down.
So noted.
Turn the camera off.
See what it was.
What is that? What do the Egyptians always say? So it is written, so it shall be, or something. Yul Brynner always said that all the time. All right. Recognition of visitors, public commentary. We're lucky to have today a county board member, Judy O'Donnell.
Little drum roll, please.
And I came dressed for the occasion.
And do you have anything to say at this time, Judy, or are you just going to sit for a while?
I'll sit for a while.
Aren't you hungry? You want to take a
I am
shot?
hungry. Why didn't somebody bring me something to eat?
Me too.
You came from the
Breakfast.
restaurant, Brian.
Breakfast is getting...
No, I sat at home all day. Working.
Oh, that's right, books.
Will Township Plan Commission hasn't met. No reason to. Road Commissioner, you got something for us tonight?
Yeah, when you get to the bills, I need to add something. Our lease with the building that we were renting from David O'Keefe now belongs to the Illinois Department of Transportation. So I have a new lease with those people, continuing the same rental price with a whole different set of terms and agreements here. So after a couple meetings with their attorney, I think it's in our best interest to pay a one lump sum, which carries us through to, I think, July 14, 2014, which would be a check for $1,900. If we didn't do that, they wanted monthly payments.
And certified.
Certified check due on the 3rd of the month. And if it wasn't there on the 3rd, it was a $20 a day penalty. Well, that doesn't work with our meeting dates all the time. So she came back today with a new agreement here, a one-time fee. I thought it was kind of inconsiderate to make you go get a certified check every month for $20.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of inconsiderate for them to charge $30 to $20 when they can't get their own.
So I told her, I said, you don't have to worry about us being behind on our bills. You need to worry about
Yeah,
you
you have to
working
get it up
for
over
it.
that step. Okay.
That's a
Thank
joke.
you.
But
Well,
That
yeah,
is
that's what I had to do is just
pathetic.
take a look at, I mean, there's how many documents
Got it?
here.
Yeah.
And I leased it from David O'Keefe. I wouldn't even know the guy. I never met him, and I made no telephone.
Handshake.
Hi there.
Hello, Stella.
Hi.
So we will add to that to your bills tonight, is
Yeah.
that correct?
Yes, I just finished this with her today, and the payment has to be to them by October 15th.
All right, trustees, you want to take a look at that then? We're going to add the $1,900. So just know that when you approve. There we go.
And we've had a pretty good month as far as getting things accomplished. We're going to
Is it
Township.
made out to IDOT?
You know, Brian, you better
You better read it, because
Better log on
I think it's the Illinois
like that.
Department of Revenue or something like that.
We're ready to tar and chip Egyptian Trail tomorrow. You'll be getting probably a packet from Torma one of these days for a claim.
Should be more than $75,000 or $80,000.
Oops. Is it Judy's fault?
Huh?
Judy's fault?
Actually, I did have woman's intuition to take the hand radio home with me that night, so I was leaving early. And I thought, man, I'm going home, just leave it. So I should have had it with me.
One of the truck drivers had the truck box up and pulled the Comcast cable down.
That's better than the fiber optics.
It was fiber
It
optic.
was,
Oh, that was gonna be a beauty.
it was fiber optic.
Well, we'll just have to wait till we get it.
So I worked around one for 2 weeks out on Egyptian Trail, dug like a gopher out there, never hit it, but
Well, that was good, because then there's
the
a
one in
little
line of sight we got, so.
Did you tell them we're a government body though?
Pardon?
Did you tell them we're a government body?
Yeah, they were tax exempt.
Yeah,
That's a tax
Honestly, we
exempt.
haven't heard from their loss prevention people, have we?
No, but Torma's contacted me, but I haven't been in the office to give them the information that they needed.
Yeah, but I mean, one of these days we'll get a knock on the door from Comcast, I'm sure.
Is your cell phone working now? So,
No, it doesn't. Trustee Asbrand threw the roller over.
We've had some technical difficulties in the road there.
Of course, it was laying on the Beecher Peatone Road, he couldn't help it.
I didn't. I've seen something there.
Well, I called Verizon today. I have 2 phones at home. You can have the one that you have, just like mine, because I got another one. I just have to switch. Just give me the phone and I'll take care of it for you.
Good.
I'll get you, it'll be the exact same phone, except we just have to cancel this one and put the other one in mine.
Hey, I better not give you that tonight, though. I'll have a phone call 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, so I
I
better.
thought it wasn't working.
Well, sometimes it does.
It's
Okay, well, give it to me when you want to give it to
Yeah.
me, Bruce, because I'll handle it through Verizon.
yeah.
I'm not gonna get that in a minute, so.
It's a little bit disabled, but it works
You could
when
put
I need
that on
it.
that split?
No.
No.
Well, I'm not the only one that's had a rough week. Must be the weather.
Anyway, we were hauling.
Are you getting smaller?
We were hauling, no, somebody stole my cushion.
You have the giant chair, Brian.
You're all above us.
Look at that.
I am shrinking. Days are getting limited. So anyway, we got about 200 loads of grindings out of the village of Peatone, and that's what we were doing the day when the cable went down, so I guess maybe a little bit of fatigue. It was later in the afternoon, we've been starting at 6 in the morning, so mistakes happen, I guess.
Yeah, they do.
Is that all?
Yes, sir.
It's all, it's weird to ask you.
That's enough.
We'll grind up the first envelope when it comes and say, we never seen the notice.
What the bright spot is, the payloader come in handy, and it really...
That turned out to be
It turns like, I think it's gonna be a good
pretty good
machine.
venture.
It really come in handy. We used it quite a bit since you got it. So we do have a bright spot.
Assessor, would you like to make a report on your last, well, it's actually, your day, yesterday was yesterday.
Yes.
So,
Nothing really to report,
okay.
nothing exciting happening.
And we'll get together when we come over to your house with a
Yeah,
couple of warrants.
anytime this week.
Anytime this week, Warren, if
Yeah.
you're available, we'll just get that stuff out of there.
Yeah, for range or...
If it rains, let me know, or I'll call you, try to get that stuff. We just gotta get the printer, the computer, the copier that's not working, file cabinet that's tall, file cabinet short, and
Is
then
this all on the
some
second floor?
miscellaneous stuff.
No, it's on the first floor.
It's on the first floor, yeah.
So we'll give you a heads up sometime this week, to get
Okay.
that stuff out there for you, so. Clerk, have you got anything at this time?
Not at this time, no.
Okay, maybe when we go around the room the last time, if you can spend a little time, if you will. I'd like to hear more about it.
Yeah, sure. Hello? Hey.
Uh,
Well, I stayed for the meeting here.
I don't have much of anything today either, except, as you noticed, in new business, we have to accept the early resignation of Stella tonight, so when we get to that part, we'll
All right.
attend to that under new business. I did have a conversation in the Farmers Weekly. I talked to Judy about this, and I just want to explain something. In the Farmers Weekly issue, 50
Wow.
cents a copy, 1921, 17th anniversary, page 18. September 5th, 2013. It mentioned a fellow named Richard Redmond, who's a special assistant to the Illinois Attorney General, was addressing comments about Quick Take. And I guess I misread it, or maybe it was misquoted or something, but I thought I should call this guy and find out more about it because of the decision that O'Leary made on the eminent domain on the Barker case. So after talking with him, he made me aware of the fact that Quick Take only is different from eminent domain because Quick Take has to be, according to Illinois law, has to be taken within a year. You actually have to have something going within a year if you're going to take Jerry Bunny's property. There better be something happening on Jerry's property within a year, otherwise you can't do it. Whereas eminent domain, which is what IDOT is doing now, and taking property for a future land banking program, I asked him, I said, well, wait a minute. I can understand the terminology now, I understand the difference. However, what I don't understand is, where there's no approved public project, how can they have eminent domain? He said, well, basically I think it's something to do with Tier 1, Tier 2, whatever. It's just a legal decision. like
That's
O'Leary
what
said.
Susan O'Leary said, it was just a legal decision, and she wrote it off because they didn't appeal it. So it was a really bad decision. She's up for retention, so keep that in your mind.
So anyway, after spending about 20 minutes on the phone with Mr. Redmond, I was made
Hello?
aware, but I wasn't any happier than I was before I talked to him about the whole thing. So
Oh, anytime in the...
anyway, then I talked with Helen today. She's out doing beans tonight. She was going to be here. She's been in contact with Stella and with Joliet, and I talked to Glenn today about swearing her in tonight. But Joliet says wait till we get her set up so she can actually do some assessment stuff if she gets a phone call. Because I don't think the phone lines are set up even. So we're transferring the phone lines to this. Helen will occupy that north office there. We're remodeling it.
After today,
As of today.
after today,
After today.
I told Chris that we could, have the building for a month, so I wanted to get through this month before he would begin any construction, because of our meeting tonight.
Well, it's a busy time for farm people and other people associated with farming. Carsonson still farm? I don't think.
I called AT&T and requested a transfer, from my house to over here. They were supposed to do it today,
So it's supposed to be plugged into that box there then?
wherever, I don't know.
So we just got to get somebody, Rob even volunteered that he would come over and do the wire to get the jacks in.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I have for a while. ESA coordinator, Rocky, I know you've been busy with a lot of stuff. There's no emergency things going on? No hurricanes or anything in the area?
Thank goodness.
Just in my life.
Trustees, at this time, do you have anything you'd like to share with the board? Paul, Jerry, Warren? Okay.
The thing I got is FYI, going back to the IDOT, they're working pretty hard down Eagle Lake Road over by me. Just about everybody on my street has got an appointment within the next couple of weeks for an appraisal and along and down around up to Everett.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting except for the fact that you guys are kind of new on their agenda. And so they're pushing you guys, as they had in the past, back in 2002, they pushed everybody else as well. But every landowner in the inaugural footprint has received, or at least they attempted to give them a letter stating their properties needed for the airport that we know does not exist.
Okay, then we'll start with old business. There is none. But before we go further, we were talking about the Jacob Henry Mansion Estate on 20 South Eastern Avenue. There is an open meeting from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Tuesday, October the 8th, which is a week from today. The purpose is for a public meeting regarding the 2015-2020 proposed multimodal transportation improvement program. They're seeking early input from stakeholders. What a beautiful word. Isn't that the word's getting so overworked? regarding regional transportation needs and priorities over the next 5 to 7 years. So if you're so inclined, you may want to go to that. I imagine it's, I would imagine it's elected officials and stakeholders. At this time, Stella, we let them have a motion to accept Stella's early resignation. Sadly so. Rocky, second. Warren, all in favor?
Aye.
Regrettably, aye. The correspondence and action items that we have, as I had just finished up with the IDOT multimodal on the list. Fines for August for $14.69. Everybody had a chance to review the bills, and we had that one additional item that the road commissioner asked us to review and accept. Is there a motion to accept? Jerry, second, please. Rocky, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. The accounts are in good shape. We've been coming in real heavy with the second round of real estate tax coming in, so we're, even though we had spent some money getting Bruce a payloader, and I don't know what this is going to cost us with the cable situation, but we'll just have to wait and see. It's not going to break us, I'm sure. The accounts are in very good shape, so Will Township is in very good condition as far financially. The next board meeting will be November the 5th, 7 p.m., and then we go to our winter schedule in December. Is that correct? If we continue to do what we've been doing the last couple of years, it's December, January, February, March, right?
Right.
So we'll make a motion at that time. The annual financial report got in the paper this week. So we got it back from the auditor, and the audit is over there on the table, new audit. If you have so inclined to take it home, if you take it home, please bring it back. I do have other copies, however, but I do use those for financial institutions as they request them. Let's see. Let's go around the room. Judy, you have anything?
I can say some things here. What I do know is that there's a report there that gives the information regarding CMAP's decision about the Iliana Expressway. At the county has written a letter supporting the Iliana as a fiscally constrained project to IDOT, and there were 3 no votes, myself, Reagan Freitag, and Dave Izzo. So
How many
anyway,
yes votes? I'm just gonna write it down.
I think it was 22. I think we were short somebody, I think. But anyway, so that was, you know, their way of putting the thing forward to push for the project. I have received some letters from people via email thanking me for the no vote. That is CMAP's report as to why they do not think the Iliana Expressway is feasible. Lists all different things, from the cost being too understated, from its use being overstated, to it being a sprawl inducer, things like that. You can read it. I can get a copy for you of that. Additionally, November 19th, IDOT had a meeting scheduled for the Peatone High School. That has been canceled right now. I don't really know why. October 9th is the day that CMAP and MPO and everybody was supposed to vote for or against the Iliana. That date has been changed to, I think it's the 17th of October. So I'm not quite sure why that date changed, but there's a change in that date. I will be having a meeting maybe Thursday with Michael Hansen. He is the ombudsman for the Iliana. I do want to talk with him and ask him, you know, what standard procedure for, you know, people to enter upon somebody's home, which would be good if people are having appraisals. Because after learning of Everett Muller's experience, I see IDOT is still up to their, you know, 30 heavy-handed tricks of making people feel horrible in their own home. And so I want to have a discussion with him regarding that. I do intend also to have a discussion with Tiffany Gorman, although I heard she may be being replaced, not sure for sure, but she's the ombudsman for the airport. So at the county, I brought up this, and I voted no against both resolutions for the airport and the Ileana ombudsman, because I said, I don't know what it is that they do. I don't think that people trust them. And so I think we just have a retainer out there that is not really used. I said, so I want to have a meeting with Michael Hansen to have an open discussion on issues with him. And then if I think that there's many things that should be brought up, I will have a meeting with plan a meeting with the Ileana landowners with him, because you should know about some of the things. So we're going to see what he has to say as to what really IDOT can and cannot do when they enter the home, things like that. So that's the Ileana update. Currently, we're looking at our budget for next year, so that's interesting, of course, at the county, my first time doing that. The paratransit in Will County is Eastern Will County. What the goal of Will County is that they will become like the leader of it, and that the townships would then go through Will County for any type of transportation. I do plan on having a meeting, hopefully the third week of October, with all the township supervisors, because what I know that's been happening is that Nick Palmer and Wendy Garlish have been going around and talking to the township supervisors individually, and so not everybody is hearing the same thing. It doesn't make sense. They're all in the same type of situation. Everybody should hear the same thing. So Dave Cann from Peatone Township called me today. I told him I was going to do that. One of the biggest issues that I found at County Board for people, for calls that I received, are land use issues. And so there's a group of us who are really looking into the different ordinances, the way land use operates, and administrative adjudication process. So we would like to get it so that it's a better situation for our landowners and a lot less costly. We had one guy who was faced with, he didn't know he needed a permit for a pool and everything. He had the pool up, and all the fines they wanted to place on him, he just took the pool down. And I think our residents should be able to have a pool in their backyard that's affordable. If they did not get a permit, let's get them into compliance so that they can keep their pool for their children or grandchildren or their sons, whoever uses the pool, and not make people take their pool down. So it's a big issue. Another issue that's coming up that we'll be voting on is our burning ordinance. That there's one woman in particular who really is offended by burning. She would like burning banned in all the unincorporated areas of Will County. I don't believe that would pass. The thought is to change it from 50 feet from any structure, whether it's a neighboring structure or not, it could be your own, to 100 feet, to restrict burning, things like that. And then also they're going to identify, because up in this area where this lady lives, there's an unincorporated area that abuts up to the rail line. And so now they passed part of this burning ordinance is to say that a rail line is a structure and that you cannot burn within so many feet. That would shut these people down. My response to them is that, it is really hard for areas where there's a municipality right next to unincorporated areas. Both sides need to be aware of those situations, and that the people in the unincorporated areas have the right to live there and do as they can, not to have all the restrictions imposed as they do in the municipalities. That's why they don't live in a municipality. So that is an ongoing fight that's going on right now. So that is the basic, well, there's other things of course going on, but that's all I have for tonight.
Well, thank you for staying, Judy, and thank you for getting us involved in what's going on in Will County. Warren, have you got anything? Brock? Still?
Yeah, I just want to say, when I took over the assessor's position in '92 from Ken Maves, because his health was failing, and our assessed valuation for our township at that time was 17 million. As of today, it's 45 million. So I haven't been sitting on my hands. So I'm proud of that. But it's been a nice ride, kept me in hamburger. Everything's fine.
No, good stuff. We're going to be celebrating your administration so we're planning something right now. I don't know what your plans are. The house sold yet, or?
No.
No. But we're going to have something for you, and we don't know exactly what day it's going to be right now. Wait till after the harvest is in.
Okay.
Of course, but we like to share your successes and, have an open house or something. And go over some old stories. We'll probably have an open house here or somewhere else or something very nice for you. So,
Thank you.
Which you deserve very much.
Thank you.
Bruce?
No, the only thing I seen in reference to the Ileana last night in the Tribune, it said in there that the CMAP planning staff put a thumbs down to the Ileana project. So I believe they're going to be supporting the CMAP organization to vote no.
The CMAP committee?
Yeah, I guess they must have different divisions within the organization, but it said last night in the Tribune, the planning staff is recommending no.
Well, that's good news, obviously. For everybody, not just us, but for the state of Illinois and the state of Indiana. Paul, have you got anything you'd like to share? Jerry? Lynn?
Yeah, bring you up my little journey. Well, worst part was that airplane ride, 16 hours.
Oh, where to?
I went to Korea, Japan.
Oh,
It was on a sales mission for Illinois corn. Well, the Midwest. It was 5 from Iowa, 3 from Ohio, 2 from Illinois, 1 from Missouri. And this was all set up through U.S. Grains Council in Washington, D.C. And they have their own offices there in those Korea and Japan. And so we got there, and Mr. Min, Oriental, took us around. We went to 25 buyers in 7 days. And with these buyers, to get them back on our side, this is the main reason why we went over there, because, last year the corn price was high. And these Asian people are pinch pennies, and they were starting to buy from other countries, Brazil, Argentina, Ukraine, and leaving us behind. Right now, Korea has only bought 1% so far. The only thing, they like our quality, they like the durability, the hardness of the grain. They can get more out of it. We went to one elevator over there, and they showed samples from back to 2010 from Brazil and Ukraine. It's just like going through a corn sheller. And it didn't have the brightness, and it's chewed up. I don't know what kind of machines they use over there. And then there was U.S. grain. They liked that, but they went like this. It's money. It's all it is about money. They didn't like that $8 corn over here or $7. I don't know what they paid at the end, but when they would put an order into Brazil, it would take 60 to 90 days to get a shipload, where we can do it in 2 weeks. So we always had a plus. But competitive, so we went around the table and they wrote everything down, what was going on over here. Shit, they tell us what's happening over here. They got people in Chicago. Oh, your conditions are pretty good. You've been a little dry. Oh, you have? You know, they know just as much about us as anything. And so we sat down, like I said, each day with anywhere from 4 to 8 buyers. And now back up again, we went around the table. Each state, we described what we had going on. And there was only one part in Iowa that was going to have a bad crop this year. They were wet and dry. But everybody else in Ohio, plus us, we're at least 50 bushel more, and I'm glad to hear that. Oh, price going to be lower, huh? Well, we said, yeah, it will be. Well, it is. It's 440.
It is right now.
Yeah, it's
440.
about, yeah,
Should
440.
be buying now.
50 corn.
But that's all it was about. We shook hands and kissed babies and everything we could do. They were glad to see us. They put a face of a farmer with production. They wanted to see what we looked like, describe our operation. How many are in the operation? How do you buy your seed? You know, they were asking us questions. Do you buy old seed? No, every year we buy new seed. And, you know, stupid questions they asked, but to us it was stupid, but to them it was their concern. We went to the embassy. Boy, a lot of hoops to jump through to go there. We had to show our ID. It was all set up ahead of time, but still, you tell the embassy how many people are coming. They still want to see the ID, the passport. We went through a lot of locks, gates, guards, and met a lot of nice people, respectable people. They're concerned. They want to feed their people. The people are making money. They want to eat good. It's more the low class is coming up to the middle class, and that's what it revolved around. The traffic in Korea was humongous, terrible. Oh, started when I looked out the hotel window, shit, 6 o'clock in the morning, the roads were just full of traffic. There was a few bikes, but traffic all day long, oh, just unbelievable. And a lot of greenhouses. They grow a lot of their own vegetables. Thousands, millions of greenhouses. They don't waste space. We saw rice fields. I didn't see none being harvested. So we spent 3 days there. Then we went over to Japan. Each city, Seoul and Korea, are beautiful cities. Beautiful buildings. Unbelievable. When we went to the rooms, you take your key, just like a credit card, open the door. So I want to put the lights on. Shit, not a word. Well, what the hell? So I looked at the door, and there's a slot for your credit card, or your key card. You put it in there, the lights go on. So they're efficient. You know, like everybody's been in a motel, you leave the lights on. Well, you pull your pass, lights go out. They're very cost-conscious. Cities are clean. Oh my God. No graffiti. I asked Mr. Min, I says, what's crime? Not much crime. You guys got more crime in Chicago, and we got 10 million people here. They don't put up with any bullshit there. They'll start whacking your fingers off.
Maybe that's what we should start doing.
That's it. We was on the bus. I ain't kidding you. Streets are clean and no graffiti. Well, going back to Japan now, I know I'm jumping around. The steering wheel's on the opposite side. It's funny watching that, but I suppose it seemed funny to them over here. And one thing, being over there, it's great to come back to America. It really is. We're lucky. We really are. But, okay, now the traffic in Japan, a lot of bikes, a lot of delivery on motorcycles. You see the little box in the back, it's McDonald's. Yeah, or Pizza Hut, or Subway. They deliver a lot on bikes, motorbikes.
We got quite a mass transit system over there.
Oh, yeah. We've seen a high-speed rail.
My daughter lived there for 3 years. And I know that she had a train pass, and their electronic sophistication over there is so advanced compared to ours. Her pass would just be in her purse. She would not have to swipe it, go near it. All she had to do was walk through the door and it would
Pick that up?
pick it up.
Wow. That is something. Then you wonder what that radiation's doing to our body. And they're worried about GMO.
Okay.
They're concerned a little bit about GMO. They want the non-GMO for food consumption. The GMO, that go to livestock. But the non-GMO, they want that, and like I said, for food
Well, they
stuff.
say what the freight costs are like in those containers when to get.
No containers. It's all vessels,
Oh, really?
boats, yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're not set up. I asked one guy, I says, what about containers? I says, over by us, I says, I can name the city, Elwood, you probably don't know it, and I says, they do 600 lifts a day. And he says, we're not set up for containers, and it's too labor intense.
Oh, okay.
I thought the same thing, I thought, boy, here we go. But no.
I think it's a lot less, well, if you're not set up for it.
Yeah, they're not set up for it.
But like here, it comes off the farmer's truck, goes in the container and doesn't get touched again until it
That's what I told him. I says,
gets the other end.
it's only touched once. I says, that's putting it in. And I says, they close it, and I
Less
says,
contamination, less damage, less,
I emphasized that. And, it still says it's the cost and just to make the facility to handle something like that. We went to one big operation, feed grain. Oh, they big over there. Holy shit. They take in, Japan takes in 118 million bushels a year of grain from us. But now, since the price